The funeral of Franconia Police Corporal Bruce McKay didn't make the network news from what we saw of it last Thursday evening. There had been some national coverage of the murder itself, what with its ties to a celebrity, skier Bode Miller, and its sheer brutality. But it was fleeting. Here in New Hampshire, where we were all hit so hard by the second murder of a police officer in less than a year, it's difficult for many of us to realize that nationwide, a police officer is murdered in the line of duty every week. Add accidental deaths and the figure nearly doubles. When something happens often, it's not big news. But it's still big news here in New Hampshire, and I hope it always stays that way. It was particularly big news for a small town. The murder of an officer was shocking. The fact that the young man who shot him, Lico Kenny, was then shot and killed by another man made it bigger. And that all three men resided in the same area, all in the shadow of the big brooding mountains that tower over Franconia Notch, which so many of us know, well, that brought it even closer to home. I was interested in the widely varying responses our coverage has drawn. Some people wanted to know why we mentioned Bode Miller, who grew up in the same family as the murderer. Others were upset that we would want to report the background of Gregory Floyd, the Easton man who came upon the shooting, pulled his truck up to provide cover for the downed officer, and then used the officer's gun to shoot the shooter. Others said it was wrong to report on the bad blood between Officer McKay and Kenny. Why report any of this? Why not just say that Officer X was shot and killed by Mr. Y, who was in turn killed by Mr. Z somewhere in the North Country? Why? Because it's a big story in a small town in our state, and it's our job to report it. We are here to gather all the facts we can, confirm them as facts, determine which ones are germane to the story, and report them. Readers will make their own determination as to what they all mean. By reporting on the background of Mr. Floyd, who has had his own run-ins with the law, we are neither questioning his actions in Franconia nor profiling him as a hero. We are simply informing the public. By writing of the long-standing history between Corporal McKay and Kenny, we aren't suggesting anything other than they had a long-standing history. By reporting on the extended Miller-Kenny family, we're reporting on a family whose tennis camp is known to many and whose famous son learned his skiing craft at Cannon Mountain. We try to be careful in our reporting, we try to be sensitive, we try to be fair and accurate. Above all, we try to inform. I think our newspaper has done just that in this sad, sad story. See you next week.